So, boom. Now we are recording. I'm going to share my screen because I want you guys to see the PowerPoint and stuff. So, all right, perfect. Alrighty. So I'm going to go through some of this stuff kind of quickly because it shuts down after like 40 minutes. So, and I want to get through some good stuff. PDI, you guys already know about PDI. 1,000, 2,000, 3,000 CPO, you guys already know about that. Remember, the August bets are in full effect. Remember what your number happens to be. If you forgot, then I'll remind you tomorrow because I don't have your numbers memorized, okay? So will I be buying you Cutco or will you be cleaning my office and or car? I don't know. I mean, I'd like to buy you guys some Cutco products, but I mean, a bet's a bet. You gotta honor your bets for sure. So if you're going to college, I just came across this website. It's called chegg.com, okay? And you can rent textbooks, so you can get up to 90% discounts instead of buying them outright. So, I mean, I haven't actually used it because I haven't been a college student in 11 years. So I haven't actually used it, but I saw a bunch of people posting about it. So I figured that as mostly college students you guys are, that could be of some value to you, okay? So want to do some quick recognition here. Jake on the board last week, Paige, Brandon getting on the board, Jack, Caroline on the board. We had Brandy with 755. Brandy, did you just roll an order recently today?
Yeah, it's pending. She wanted to talk to her husband about it.
Okay, cool. So yeah, follow up with them. So, but good job with that order last week. And on the newsletter, we had Elisa. That was your biggest week ever, right? 2803. So nice job. High five. Booyah. Congratulations on the 2,800 CPO week. So that's about a $700 paycheck approximately that you're going to be getting. So not bad when you can't even legally buy a lotto ticket. So congratulations on that right there. Marissa dominating at 62.33. Very, very good stuff there. And number one rep of the week last week was Leslie. So she came in with a $13,333 week. So that's a pretty solid week, especially when you make half, when you make 50% of that. So me and Brandon were talking about you guys getting to 15K ASAP. You two, Elisa and Brandy, are like neck and neck, like at the same, you're right around 9,000 in sales. So you guys got to get to 10K and then get to 15 so that you can get trained for fairs and shows and all that good stuff, because that will be huge for you. So Brandon, if you could unmute yourself, what's your top one or two takeaways from watching watching Liz and Marissa and Leslie sell at the fair? What were your top one or two takeaways? 30 seconds or less.
All right. So just I would say their ability to just feel out a customer for sure. And their knowledge of the product. It was like they know the stuff, and they were just less than like 10 minutes. In 10 minutes, they did what we do in an hour.
So would you agree, Brandon, that it's not as much about it's not as much like the customer, but it's more of your time, your experience, your knowledge, your ability to like do the job well that helps people sell $200,000, $300,000 in a year?
Yeah, they are for sure the thermostat. They are for sure the thermostat.
Yeah. So you guys just always have to remember that any customers that you have no sales on, there's always a potential for a sale unless they're like literally the worst person ever. So think about just being at your best on the demonstration, no matter what, okay? And with time, with more experience, with getting more familiarity with the product line, it's kind of like just being a student of the business. Being a student of the business definitely, certainly helps. Getting more familiar with the product line, as Brandon said, being the thermostat, not the thermometer. So controlling the tempo versus just taking a reading of the tempo. All those things definitely matter. So I'm glad Leslie invited Brandon to go watch him, because that was definitely pretty awesome. I'm excited for Brandon to get started with some shows this fall. So very good stuff. Congrats, guys. We were the number 3 overall office in the whole region this past week. We're the number 1 overall district. So good job right there, guys. Excellent. Make sure you're getting to 10K. Brandon, you got to send me a picture you want to put up for your 10K photo, by the way. But 30% commission, picture on the 10K wall. So you two, again, you're neck and neck. So I wonder who's going to be next to reach their Dirty 30 10K promotion. So it'll be pretty exciting to see for sure. So CVI. So just as a reminder, Brandy, yours was banker innovator, right? Or was it?
Switch it around. It's innovator banker.
Okay. And Elisa, what was yours again?
Innovator banker.
You two are the same. Holy crap. That's incredible. And then Brandon, what was yours? Merchant something?
Innovator merchant.
Innovator merchant. Okay. Cool. So, and mine, just to remind you guys, was builder merchant. So a lot of innovators, a couple bankers there, a couple merchants, all sorts of good stuff. So CVI is definitely a powerful thing, and I need to study more up on it too, so I can figure out how to most effectively work with people, and because it's a lot to remember at times. So I definitely need to keep familiarizing myself, since it's been 9 years since I really used it. But I'm excited for us to use that, especially when we get into the Leadership Academy and everything. So getq.com. Has anyone downloaded this app or started using this app yet? Brandon?
Yeah.
Brandy, you guys all have? Okay, cool. So has anyone made phone calls from it yet? Brandy, you've made calls from it?
Yeah.
Okay, awesome. So does it organize it? Like, what does it help with organization and all that sort of good stuff?
Yeah, I like that it automatically adds your like you can book the demo right after you get off the call, and then it adds it to your calendar.
Oh, cool. That's neat. I wish I knew how to build apps, because I would build stuff all the time, but I don't know how to do that stuff. But okay, so you all got it downloaded. That's solid. Now let's just make sure that we start using it so that we can develop some feedback for it. And the dude that, if you have any feedback for the guy that invented it, you can send that to him too. I forgot his name right offhand, but I think it's in the iTunes store. You can add him on Facebook, or you can email him as well. I can get that stuff for you, okay? So our lessons from a Hall of Famer tonight is on phoning. So we're going to be going over this phone skills workshop. So there is a handout that I put on the WhatsApp page. So if you can download that handout and then just kind of like take some notes separately from it, or if you have a printer right there, you can definitely print it right there. So we're going to be going over some lessons from a Hall of Famer on phoning. So let's go ahead. Let's dive right in.
What we're going to start off with today, though, I wanted to get a chance to get us back up to speed and just cover some things that I think will help y'all make the most out of this phone time that we're going to have here today. So I've got a handout here that some of you would have seen before, some of you wouldn't. That's okay. It's called the only phone handout you'll ever need. I want to go through a couple things on here with y'all, because the reality is when it comes to doing your phone time, again, this may not be the most exciting point of your entire week, But by getting a chance to start doing this the right way, it's a heck of a lot more efficient. And the more efficient you are, the less stressful it becomes. If you kind of look on here, a couple things real quick. It says for a full schedule, 5 before, 5 after every demo, and then getting your off.
Real quick, can you guys hear that? Is it coming through? Okay.
This phone time twice a week. There's 4 main points on here that we're going to kind of quickly go over, and then I want to talk to you all a little bit about some modifications we have for some of the different people you're calling, like calling through a school directory, calling through chicken list, texting your friends to get their parents' phone numbers, things like that. A couple things on here. It says, first off, with the numbers, everything starts here. You guys got to be bold. Here's the deal. Everyone's going to see Catco eventually. Every single person. Every ultimate set that we have sold this summer was on another person's chicken list. Every one of them. I guarantee you that. It's just the law of large numbers. Matthew had a demo he did yesterday. It was someone that, it wasn't even that he was like afraid to call them last summer, but he kind of put it off. He lived a little further away, and he's like, I don't know. And then he goes and gets a Siggy upgrade yesterday. So that's someone he could have seen a year ago, but just got around to doing it now. And then all of a sudden, well, that's why he's Matthew. Okay, he goes out there and you get it done. You get it done. But my point is we all have this, okay? And you have to understand everyone's going to see this stuff eventually. At the State Fair of Texas, this year we're going to sell about $1 million worth of Cutco over 20-something days at the State Fair of Texas. And that's people who are there for like fried butter. Okay, it's like the Drex of humanity. All right, you go through all those sketch neighborhoods in South Dallas with the bars on the window, and then they put bars on the bars so no one steals their bars. Don't follow me on that. Literally, that area down there, guys. People are there for Fletcher's corny dogs and fried butter. It's like a heart attack and a homemaker. That's our special. That's what we'll call it. Okay, homie and a heart attack. All right, and we sell them.
I like that term, homie and a heart attack. Solid.
$1 million. Guys, we do this everywhere. So the reality is everyone's going to see this stuff eventually. It may as well be from you. You've got to have a top 50 list done out at all times with your top 10 prospects identified. Put a star by where it says you got to have a top 50 list. So when it comes down to this, guys, with the top 50 list, I'm on y'all all the time, okay? And by the way, if I'm not, I'm going to be now, all right? But I'm on a lot of y'all all the time about always having a top 50 list done out. You got to have that top 50 list. You got to have that top 50 list done out because it makes your life so much easier. It says on here, Facebook, directories, yearbooks, rosters, your parents' address book. Please don't steal mom and dad's address book. That is not what I'm telling you to do. Don't be like, yoink, nice guy said to. Okay, that's not the goal. But at the same time, talk to them, include them in what you're trying to do, and help them understand why it's super important to you. Now, always start with names. Make a note off to the side there. Start with names. Just write that down. Start with names. We're on number 1 where it says numbers. I know, ironic. Start with names, but it says numbers. When it comes to doing your list, doing a top 50 list might seem hard, but going from 51 to 147 is honestly pretty easy. I sat down with Bailey the other day. She's out of town right now, but I sat down with her before she left because she goes, I really want to work on my list. As soon as I get back, I'm jumping into the Alliance. I'm here every morning. I'm going to book a crap load of demos, and I'm going to sell 10K because I'm going on that limo. All right? She goes, but to do that, I need my list to be really good. Can you help me? And I said, sure. We sat down, we spent 30 minutes. And so she had a directory too. So she's like, I know I have people, but I don't really feel like I have a lot of people right now. By the end of that, from her own estimation, she had somewhere between 175 and 240 numbers she needed to go track down. Now that's its own thing. I get it. Finding the numbers might take a little bit of work. It does. But if you have all those names there, guys, one of the reasons why a lot of y'all feel stressed with phone time is because you're calling the same 7 people every single day like you're their parole officer. So we need to calm down with Miss Smith. All right, like Miss Smith needs a break. Okay, stop calling Miss Smith for God's sake. Let's find 43 other people to call and give Miss Smith a timeout. All right, she'll be way more excited when you call her back after a week. She's like, oh, I thought you forgot about me, Blake. Thank God. Now you're calling me again. Maybe I'll answer. Okay, guys, you want to plan 5 calls for every demo you need. Now the real deal is you probably won't have to call 5 people for every 1 demo, but it is better to overestimate how many calls you need to make. So if I know I want to book 2 demos, I'm planning to call at least 10 people. Y'all follow me on that? That's my plan. Because half of them are not going to pick up the phone. By the way, they're not avoiding you when they don't pick up the phone. They don't even know it's you. They don't even care, by the way. They're not avoiding you, but the reality is they're just doing stuff. People have lives and they do stuff. So if I'm counting on half of them not even answering, right? So if I'm calling 10 people, 5 aren't even going to answer. Best case scenario, I talk to 5 people. Out of those 5, I'm going to have maybe 1 or 2 that says no, 1 or 2 that says call me back, 1 or 2 I book a demo. Y'all follow me on that? So that's why I say plan 5 to 1. Even 4 to 1 is usually safe. Okay, but if you want to book 5 demos, plan on calling 20 people. Okay, it's just a general rule of thumb. All right, as long as you call people at the right times, which we'll talk about here in just a second, you're going to be off to the races. It says don't waste time between calls, 20 calls per hour. Okay, the most frustrating part about phone time for both you guys as team members and for us as managers is when we waste like 8 minutes between every phone call and you become weirdly psychic. And you're like, who should I call next? Oh man, they're not home. They probably wouldn't buy anything. That guy smells like cheese. I don't want to see the cheese guy. Why'd I even put him on my list? Okay, y'all spend like 8 minutes debating every single call and activity you do. You never let yourself build up momentum. You never let yourself build up momentum. The 2 most powerful forces in the business world are momentum and lack of momentum. You with me?
Think of how hard the job is when you've killed all of your momentum. Adversely, think of how easy the job is when you've built up your momentum, like in a positive way, positive direction. Like it just feels like everything you touch turns to gold when you've got momentum going for yourself.
I mean, on that, momentum and lack of momentum. Flow is underrated. Like momentum is underrated. And so when you're actually doing the activity of phone time, when you give yourself permission, when you set yourself up in such a way where you can create momentum, it is 1,000 times easier. I'm not telling you it's easy, but it's 1,000 times easier than how some of y'all are currently rocking it out. Memorize a recommendation approach like it's your favorite song. The best way to keep your list full, once you've done the activity of creating a top 50, a top 100 list, is make sure you're getting quality recommendations all the time, because then you're just adding those to your list, and it's an uninterrupted stream. Here's what I want you to do. On the side or on the back, write this down. Here's how you're going to be doing your phone time today. You're going to have a list of 15 to 20 people. So you're going to do, before you make a call, you're going to decide who are the next 15 people I'm going to call. Write this down for me. Who are the next 15 to 20 people I'm going to call? You will make a list in advance. Here's the people I'm going to call. You will call straight through there with no delay. You'll get their names and numbers together before you make a single call. You have a directory, great. You're going to write out, here's the 15 people, here's the names and numbers. It'll take you 5-10 minutes to do this. I don't really care. But you will call through uninterrupted, all right? You're not going to take time between to think. You're not going to do that stuff. You're just going to call. Now, everyone who doesn't answer, you're going to call them a second time at the end of your phone time. Y'all follow me on that? So I've got a list of 15 people I'm going to call through. I just go call, answered, book a demo, no answer, call me back, I'll make a note, no answer, demo, no answer, just bot cut go, no answer, yes. You follow me on that? Like, that might be the breakdown. Great. You'll then immediately go through one more time and call the no answers a second time through. Now, you're not going to call them 17 times. That's annoying. Okay. But guys, a lot of times, like even with me, half the time, I just don't even notice my phone. So my phone isn't always on me, but if I see someone call me twice, I'm definitely a lot more likely to actually hit that person back, because it's probably something a little more urgent. Does that make sense? Not emergency, but just more timely, more urgent. So you guys all know the secret now. You're like, great, double tap right. You make a list of the people you're going to call before you ever pick up the phone. You call straight through that list, top to bottom. Don't skip, nothing. You just go through it. And then the people who didn't answer, you call them a second time. This is how you actually build momentum. And then once that's done, you're like, great, that got 10 demos or that got 0. Okay, great, that round of phone time's done. And it's actually a good feeling to have a time where it's like done. Like, focus on the activities. Don't stress quite so much about how many demos I booked up. Like, yeah, I want you to pay attention to that. But if you guys just do the right activities, you're going to book the demos. I'm not worried about that. I have a sample size of 17 years to draw from. So I kind of follow like the way we want to approach this. This is how you do it like a pro. Let's go back on here really quick. On number 2, it says connect with people. Okay? Connect with people. Rapport makes people feel comfortable. Use people's name and stress the connection or reference to them strongly. Like if this is like if you're calling people from where you went to school. I went to school at TCA back in the day, Trinity Christian Academy. If I'm calling TCA families, I'm going to lead off pretty heavily with, hey, I'm a TCA alumni. I actually graduated a million years ago, but that's how I got your name. I was seeing some other families in the TCA universe, and they suggested I reach out to you. You follow me on that? So like that's an example. You're calling someone from your high school. I'm a graduate from Lake Highlands High School, and I've been seeing a lot of really cool families, and a couple of them mention your name. You probably know the Smiths, you probably know the Johnsons. They had such nice things to say about you. I thought you might be able to help me out. You have a really quick second. From the very beginning, you want to really highly stress that. Oh, I'm actually Amy Graff's son. Okay, I think you know my mom, Amy. She had some really cool things to say about you. Or you guys have been on that volunteer thing, or you've been on the board for many years together. Yeah, I'm her kiddo. Okay, I'm the baby too. That's the crazy part. I'm old. All right, but it doesn't matter. It's just you want to stress how you know them. Hey, I don't know if my name rings a bell, but I'm Chris Carter's younger brother. By the way, your siblings, like really close friends' parents, are the easiest demos that y'all have not booked yet in most cases. Like they're so freaking easy. Okay, if any of y'all have some siblings, brothers or sisters, a couple of you guys do, awesome. Those are the easiest demos, because even though they may not know you, like when I say Chris Carter, like my brother was at their house all the damn time. Like that's such a potent connection that it's just a slam dunk. Like I may not know them, but they definitely know of me and they know the family. Come on, man, that it's such an easy set to actually book up. Smile and practice speaking with energy, enthusiasm, and confidence. Underline those 3 words: energy, enthusiasm, and confidence. Here's a happy byproduct. Getting good at this is going to make you an amazing public speaker. It's going to make your job interviews better. It's going to make presentations in school better. And by the way, disassociate the phone. Like that's I think the best tip I got when I was new is just disassociate the phone. Because when I'm on the phone, I'm just sort of in my head. If I ran into like one of my old coaches in line at Chipotle, you know me on this? Like I ran into one of my old coach and his wife that I was super tight with back in the day, but I haven't talked to him in like 4 years. If I'm in line at Chipotle and they happen to come up behind me and they're like, "Oh my God, Brian, dude, how the hell are you? We haven't seen you in forever. What have you been up to, man?" Follow me on that? Like that's a pretty normal interaction. I wouldn't be like, whoa. No, I'd be like, oh my God, Coach Cobb, how the hell are you guys? It's been forever, dude. It's so great to see y'all. Oh, what have you been up to, Brian? Oh, I'm actually just working this summer. I'm saving up for school. It really wouldn't be that weird. Within about 3 questions, like, what have you been up to? Oh, I'm working. Where are you working? Oh, I got this job. What are you doing? Can I come show you? You know, and that just like organically, within about 3 questions, you probably get to where you're booking a demo anyway. And yet somehow if you put a phone between me and you, I become a blithering idiot. Like, Okay, and so again, that's like you're afraid of making them like feel weird from the spot. No, you make it weird when you act weird. Disassociate the phone. By the way, when it's a recommendation, just visualize. What do you think they look like? You know, and it's funny when you get there, you're like, I thought you were an old white guy. You were a young Hispanic gentleman. it's like, oh, I thought you were a dude. You're not. I had some funny ones back in the day. Literally, in my mind's eye, when I see a name, I'm visualizing it. And again, it's just because I'm just trying to disassociate the phone. But yeah, with me on that? Like, guys, if you ran into your friend's parents and you just ran into them at Target, you just talk to them. If you're at Topgolf and you saw one of your old school principals, you would just talk to them. Okay, but somehow if you put a phone between me and them, all of a sudden I just become like, oh. Okay, so don't do that, all right? By the way, part of energy, enthusiasm, and confidence, I walk around when I'm on the phone. Now here's the deal. There's 2 things I'm going to tell you. Number 1, feel free to move, like create energy in space and state. If I just sit in one place too long, my ADD kicks in or I get tired and stuff like that. So like I pace. There's a reason this office is so big. Just letting them know that I'm on the phone. I'm constantly walking back. Sometimes I go walk in the hall. I got to keep my energy up. If I just sit here, sometimes I sort of get lethargic. My energy level drops and it comes across when I'm talking to people. Yeah, y'all kind of follow me on that? Now here's the flip.
Motion creates emotion.
flip side though, but you still have to follow your schedule. So if you're a roamer, be a roamer like me. You better god dang well have a weekly schedule sheet and your script that you're just taking with you. That's okay. You're like doing it on your knee, like you're writing on a wall, not on the wall. You put the script on the wall, and you're putting things in there. Okay, but try it out sometimes. There's this thing of racquetballs over here, and that is totally just like my fidget cube. You know, like the fidget cubes they have, things like that. When I'm on the phone, I will walk around just like bouncing a racquetball on the ground. It's just something about like physicality. I don't know why, but it's just something about like some of you guys are athletes. You might be able to relate to this, but like I focus better when there's some physical activity involved, even if it's just something weird and repetitive like that. So that doesn't have to be your answer. You may be like Molly. Molly is great to just like be in a quiet space, have it spread out, zero distractions, and just calm makes her better. Calm kind of does the opposite to me. I'm a tornado and I got to just keep moving. I'm a shark. If I stop, I'll die. So I'm going to go eat people. Well, the metaphor came with the logical conclusion there with murder. It says if your student mentions school and scholarship opportunities repeatedly, underline scholarship, 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 scholarship. Scholarship is just a powerful motivator. It makes it so much easier for people to get a chance to say why they should even just give you a shot. By give you a shot, I don't mean buy knives or even necessarily do the demo, but even just listen. You know, so it's never too early to throw that in. Hey, this is Blake. I'm a student at A&M. I actually just graduated from Lake Highlands. I'm working with a company trying to earn a scholarship. Just want to see if you can help me out with something I'm doing. Man, you have a really quick stop. But that energy that you bring, it's not like, hi, Mrs. Jones, this is Blake. My name out ring a bell. You know what I'm saying? Like, none of that stuff there. Now it says, book the demo, confidently read the script word for word. What's that first word? Starts with a C. Confidently. Okay, read the script word for word. Guys, always answer questions with questions. This is just like good speaking technique. If you pay attention to people like a receptionist in an office that's really good at what they do, or like an assistant for a high-level executive, they're always great about this. When there's a lull in the conversation, people think they're supposed to ask questions. Yep, on that, they don't know anything else to do. So I'll watch people on the phone sometimes. They don't need to do this. They just get nervous. And it's hilarious because they're like, man, Brian, what do you do? How do you answer all these questions? And I'm like, I hardly get any questions. And they're like, oh, dude, it's just my customers. And I'm like, no, the only consistent thing across the 19 people you talk to is you. There you go. It's my favorite thing to tell my friends. The only consistent part in all your past failed relationships is you. It hurt. Okay. But guys, you always want to answer a question with a question. Now, not in an evasive way, but let me give you an example. I was listening to one of the newer team members a while back through phone time. They're booking the very first demo, and they called this lady, and they go, oh, what are you selling? And he goes, Petco. And the lady goes, what's Cutco? And he goes, it's really great stuff for the kitchen. Well, how long does it take? It's about 45 minutes. I mean, I don't know. You know, we're pretty busy. Y'all get me on that? Like when you have that uncomfortable gap, people don't know what they're supposed to do, so they just ask more questions. So instead, here's what you do. Oh, what's a product? Oh, it's actually called Cutco. It's really nice stuff for the kitchen. Have you ever heard of it before? And then you're passing the ball back to them. Go with me on that? No awkward pause. So you pass the ball back to them, and then all of a sudden they're like, oh yeah, I think my mom had Cutco, or no, I'm not familiar with it. You're like, oh, okay, cool. Well, it's really great stuff for the kitchen. I get paid just to show, and all of a sudden you're right back on script. Follow me on that? By asking a question, every time you answer a question, it allows you to get back on script, because that should be the goal. And this becomes very natural once you start to do it a few times. It says offer 2 specific times. You must have your schedule laid out in advance. It says share your daily demo goal to create urgency. No weasel words. Almost, maybe like, okay. I'll drive you crazy. So I was like, yeah, I'm trying to get like, I don't know, like 3 demos for tomorrow, if possible. Is that a goal, or is that just like a speed bump you tripped on? You want to follow me on that? No, it's like, oh, hey, my goal is to get 3 demos tomorrow. Guys, you must have daily demo goals. Having a daily demo goal is to scheduling the appointments. What having a sample kit is to selling Cutco. Like, I guess you could do it without a sample kit, but why? That sounds really hard. Okay, and I know it's going to be a hell of a lot less effective. So when you have a daily demo goal, it's okay if your demos aren't always huge. And by the way, I give you permission to miss your goal. You're welcome for the rest of your life. You guys understand why people don't set challenging goals, right? It's fear of failure. That's why we don't. It's fear of failure. How am I going to feel? What are people going to say about me? How are people going to judge me? You know, how am I going to judge myself if I put myself out there and I fail to reach this big thing I set for myself? But guys, it's a self-defeating mentality, because by that logic, you just don't set those big challenging goals, and therefore you don't get those exciting results that you paid for. Y'all follow me on that? So if you set a goal tomorrow, if I want to do 3 demos on Monday, okay, fantastic. By the way, it's a great goal. I think most of y'all should shoot for numbers about in that ballpark. But obviously, it's up to you. But if you say I want to shoot 3 on Monday, you do your damnedest, and let's say you only get 1 booked up. Well, did you miss your goal? Yes. But guys, 1 out of 3 I can live with, okay? Because when you miss a goal, it means 1 or 2 things didn't quite get hit. Either the plan wasn't sufficient or the execution wasn't quite sufficient, and both of those are things we can work with. You know, follow me on that? Like, we can work on both of those. Maybe you didn't have enough people laid out to call. Like the plan wasn't quite there. Or maybe it was just the execution wasn't great. Didn't quite follow the script. You got a little in your head. You weren't as confident as you could have been. Both of those are things you can work with. 1 out of 3 is actionable. You can learn from that and get better going forward. 1 out of as many as I can. Is that good? Is that bad? I don't know. But I bet it'll bug you. I bet it'll mess with your head. You know, with me on that? So it is always better to have a goal, even if you come up a little bit shy, than not have a goal to be shooting for. You okay with me on that? That resonate? That's why we're so hard on you when you say, oh, I'm going to do as many as I can. And I'm like, I can't count to that. Okay, is that 100? You doing 100 demos this week? Because, I mean, I've seen your schedule. It's pretty open. And you're like, oh, no. Okay, don't say as many as you can, and you think that's like a low number, and it's like, no, it's not. It's a big number. You're just adding stress to your life. You don't need to add. It's better to be like, dude, my goal is like 2 tomorrow, 3 the next day, 0 the day after that, because I'm running back down to A&M per day. Like, that's way better. You're like, oh, okay, cool. Every person you talk to, yeah, here's the difference there. Hey, Ms. Jones, I just really got to work on as many as I can. Versus, hey, Mrs. Jones, I just need 2 more appointments tomorrow to hit my goal. Like, I'm so close. I was really hoping you might be able to help me out. I wanted to see if you had an opening at 10 o'clock, or do you think 12:30 might be better for you? You'll feel the difference there. Once they feel that urgency, they see how they're going to be a part of it. That's what moves the needle. It says, don't be afraid of objections. Put a star by this. Don't be afraid of objections. They're just problems waiting to be solved. That's it. Guys, objections are not rejection. When someone just has something come up, or even if they just say, no, I can't book a demo, like, that's not them invalidating you as a person, okay? But we take it very personal because your whole life you've been conditioned to avoid hearing no. No is discipline, no is correct, correction, bad, mal, rah, no. So, like, we take no's really, really personally. But guys, like, trying to avoid the word no is why people don't go for the jobs they want. They don't pursue the relationships they want. There's so many things in life that we don't do. You'll never live an empowered life if you're just afraid of hearing that word no. And once all of a sudden you realize that that's not rejection, but just say no to just a business thing you're throwing out to them. It's okay. It's not a big deal. It's not a big deal. I don't even mind no's. I hate maybe. Maybe drives me crazy. I feel the way y'all feel about no, I feel about maybe. So my goal is to take maybe out of the equation. I love yes, I'm fine with no, I hate maybe. So, like, if someone is busy and they can't see me right then, great. You got to understand, like, if I don't book the demo now, I've made it that much easier for them to blow me off the next time I call as well. So I'm going to do my best to try and work through those checks. If I call and they say, oh, I'm busy, call me later, I'm going to try and do a lap or two around that. Oh my gosh, I'm super busy right now too. It's a crazy time of year, so I totally understand what all you guys have going on. So some fun stuff, you're going out of town, or just kind of like life stuff, and you can actually get clarity on what's happening. Y'all follow me on that? So, for instance, I had a lady, if someone says, I'm going to be going out of town here for the next week. Okay, well, there's no answer to that other than you can maybe tentatively set something, do a follow-up call a little bit later. You with me on that? But if someone's just like, oh, I just have to work a double tomorrow. It's not that they legitimately don't have time to see me in the next 3 days. It's just that because they're working a double, they're not thinking about the next 3 days. They're only focused on the fact that they're working a double. You'll follow me on that? And that's not weird, by the way. I don't blame them. Like, I'm kind of the same way. If I know the next day is kind of overwhelming, I'm not even thinking ahead. So sometimes just by achieving clarity, you could say, hey, oh my gosh, I totally understand. Like, that's going to be a beating of the day for you. Hey, out of curiosity, I can always hit you back later, but what's your day like on Wednesday? Would Wednesday be any better if you had a chance to clear that, and then you had Tuesday to kind of play a little bit of catch up? Because I still need one more for Wednesday. I've got an opening at 4 and 7. God, just out of curiosity, would either of those be any better for you? Because one of two things is going to happen. Either they're going to go, well, yeah, I guess, Matthew. Yeah, I could do 4. Yeah, Wednesday would be way better for me. Yeah, with me on that, and they're like selling themselves on it. Or the other option is like, no, I just can't. And in which case, okay, you did your due diligence, but no one's ever going to be like, I'll kill you. If we get weirdly dramatic in our head, you're never going to get that. The worst thing you ever get is, no, I still think that wouldn't work for me. Does that make sense, though? So don't be afraid of those objections, guys. Objection is not rejection. And the 15-minute guarantee, if you don't like me or the product after 15 minutes, kick me out. Give me a shot. Right after the side, give me a shot. Just write that on the page. Give me a shot. I say that all the time to people. I say it with sales. I say it booking demos. Hey, Miss Jones.
The 15-minute guarantee was one of the main reasons that I hardly ever got people to say no to me on the phone, is because I just told them, hey, if we're not having fun, if we're not having a blast after 15 minutes, you can kick me right out the door. Okay. I should have used the extra phrase, just give me a shot. I never thought of that. I never heard it put that way. But the 15-minute guarantee is definitely a good one for sure.
Give me a shot. I think you're going to love this, and I think you're going to love me. But if not, that's okay. Give it a shot and you're not feeling it, just let me know in 15 minutes in, and that'll be the end. I'll pay. I've used that 500 times, at least, the 15-minute guarantee, 500 times. I've had exactly one customer cash it in. And it was exactly as funny and awkward as you could possibly imagine. And we just died laughing about it. It was the funniest thing in the world. You ever seen like when people do like the vacuum cleaner demonstrations and stuff? Guys, it takes 3 hours. 3 hours. A lot of times when people have hesitancy about actually booking with you, it's because like they're afraid that that's what they're signing up for. Y'all follow me on that? So by giving them an easy out, and you're like, oh, it usually takes 45 minutes to an hour. Honestly, 15 minutes in, if you're not feeling it, it's no harm, no foul. But I really think you'll love it. It still helps me out either way. Do you see how much more reassuring that is for the customer? Like, this is not going to be taking over their life or taking over their day. Now, it's got an urgency phrase. Hey, Ms. Jones, I really need to do blank appointments tomorrow to hit my goal. I only have this one so far. Is there any way you can squeeze me in? Underline where it says squeeze me in at this time or with this time, you guys. That urgency phrase is key. Urgency is key. Guys, urgency is how you're going to get control over your schedule. It's how you get control of your schedule. All right, and then the last thing is just firm up the appointment. Be memorable, make it matter. Have them write the time down. Tentative appointments always fall through. Okay, tentative appointments always fall through. If you don't have a set time, you don't have a demo. Okay, so make sure you get that set time. Never book demos more than 3 days in advance. And then it says a memory device. This is the most underrated tip on here. Put a penny on the fridge, draw a frog, scholarship number. It's got a couple weird examples there. Let me roll through those really fast. Penny on the fridge is literally this. Michael Velosin would always do this. He would say, hey, Mrs. Jones, do me a big favor. This will sound crazy. We take a penny and we put it in the freezer. Now, here I said freezer, not fridge. Okay, we say, hey, put it in the freezer. And they go, why do you need a frozen penny? And he goes, trust me, it's a surprise, but just do it. It's really cool. I think you're going to enjoy it. It's something kind of kooky, but it's really, really neat. And they're like, I mean, but why? And he's like, I can't tell you. It's a surprise, but trust me, you're going to like it. I'm like, okay. All right, and they would do it. Is there any version where they're forgetting that he's coming at this time? No, there's just a stamped penny in the freezer. If you're wondering, okay, he would literally get there and you just like, oh, do you have my frozen penny? And they're like, yeah. And he's like, watch this. And he'd cut it. And they'd go, what? All right. Now, if you're wondering, does it matter if the penny is frozen? Not at all. It's just the fact that they put a penny in the freezer is weird and dissonant, and it's just interesting to them. Again, it's just doing something interesting. It literally says draw a frog, okay? This was Cordelia Starnes. She go, hey, Miss Jones, this is going to sound crazy, but I need you to do me a favor. It's super, super important. You do this, I'll hook you up with some great stuff, but I need you to draw a frog and a mushroom. And they're like, what? Trust me, I know it's silly, but it's important to me. It really means a lot. Just frog on a mushroom. Okay, stick frog. You want stick frog? I'm like, no. Like, we'll do it now. I'm like, okay. She had binders full of frogs on a mushroom. When I ran the office in South Dallas, my assistant, Rachel Selby, she'd ask people to draw a dancing pickle. Dancing pickle. Okay? And guys, you ask her to do it constantly. Like, y'all worried about selling knives. She got grown people to draw a pickle. Dancing. Your customers are not better versions of you. They're just older versions of you. Probably the easiest one is where it says scholarship number. Your scholarship number is your rep number. Like, that's a real deal thing. That's how they track in the scholarship contest, is by your rep number. So you can always say, and especially if you ask them to write it down, and you should have them write it down. A lot of people have been doing that. But in the script, when it says, hey, if you can write this down, I'll be there at this time, this day, this time. Especially if you just know they're not writing it down like they say they are, but you know they're not. You're like, hey, no worries. You can put down, I'll be there tomorrow at 5 p.m. That's awesome. Hey, jot down my scholarship number too, just in case. It's 3227-0774. Hey, would you read that back to me to make sure I gave it to you correctly? Okay, and all of a sudden, like, my pen ran out of ink, Brian, my pen. No, it's inkless. It's an inkless pen. Like, okay, cool. Well, just let me know when you've got one. Oh, okay, now I got it. Okay, great. I'll be there tomorrow at 5 p.m. because the only part I actually cared about was them writing, I'll be there tomorrow at 5 p.m. It's a memory device. Them writing down, Blake is coming at this date, this time. It's just locking in their head that Blake is coming at this date, this time. Y'all follow me on that? This is how you prevent having, like, reschedules in their shows. It's about being more memorable. Be memorable, guys. Y'all are so afraid sometimes of people judging you when you know what the worst judgment of all is? They don't even remember. You know what I mean on that? Now, you don't need to play the fool. That's not what I'm telling you. But I'd rather be memorable, even if sometimes I'm a little bit odd. Okay, I'd rather be the boss you don't forget because I was way too into stuff and I really wanted to, like, drive you to be super successful than just be some guy that's clock in, clock out, and I way too much in blue moon. You know what I mean on that? Like, it's okay. Being memorable is not a bad thing, but do it in a way that's true to your personality. You don't need to be ridiculous. I don't care if I'll do dancing pickles. But you can sure as hell do a scholarship number. I'm stick a penny on the fridge or in the freezer, just something like that. It says give directions, help them remember they're coming, and always express sincere gratitude. Bonus phrase at page. It says, hey, I know you're super busy. You're probably way busier than I am, but I'm working so hard to hit my goal right now. I would need you at 6 in the morning or midnight if I had to. You know, I'm in this thing, Mrs. Jones. So if those times don't work, is there a better time we can meet? That right there, like that's the first call special booking the Cupcake demo. Now, don't say it if you don't mean it. Now, I mean, midnight's hyperbole. Okay, I've never done a demo at midnight. But don't say it if you don't mean it. But if you mean it, you're serious about hitting a goal, roll that out there, and you watch all of a sudden how people, they get way less busy. And they're like, when they see how it's important to you, how it matters to you, all of a sudden it's amazing the difference that it makes. And guys, the cool thing is once you go through this process of filling your schedule, because it's important, because your goals matter to you, as a byproduct, a lot of people that are good qualified customers will see a great product, and a lot of them will decide to buy it. Most of them probably. So that's going to be good for them and it's good for you. But I will never forget, I had a lady one time and I said that, and she goes, Brian, I had to be at work by 8 a.m. Okay? She goes, I'm an early riser. I get up early. She goes, you're welcome to come early, but you'd have to be here by 6 a.m. I can only give you an hour. She goes, that's the best I could do. And I went, cool. I go, what's your drink at Starbucks? And she goes, you don't have to get me Starbucks. I was like, no, I have to get me Starbucks. No chance in the world I'm making this demo without that. I go, what's your drink at Starbucks? And she goes, like vanilla latte. I was like, great. I'll see you tomorrow at 7 a.m. with a vanilla latte. Or it's at 6 a.m. with a vanilla latte. And she goes, I'll see you then. Okay? And when I showed up with her vanilla latte, she goes, oh my God, you came. She wasn't unhappy. She goes, I thought there was no chance you would be here. And I'm like, and she goes, oh, this is happening. All right? And it was just fun and interesting. And I sold a galley set. You know, I sold a galley set. Why not? Why not go sell a galley set, before 8 a.m.? You know what I did? I went home. I went back to bed. To be totally honest, it's literally what I did. I went home and went back to bed. I didn't schedule my next demo until 1 o'clock. Okay, because I had 2 of my 3 demos for the day. I needed 1 more. I used that line. The only time she could see me was an ass crack early. So we did sunrise together with a latte and a galley set. You with me on that? It's amazing when you're not afraid to ask for what you want and you're clear on what you need and you do it with a big smile on your face. It's amazing how much easier this stuff gets. So here's the thing I wanted to show you, or wrap with real quick. And this is a little triangle at the end there, so it doesn't show like 3 rectangles. There's something called the decision train, okay, that I'm a really big fan of. The decision train.
We've talked about this before, but he has a good way of explaining it.
Is this. There's decisions, there's actions, and there's feelings, all right? So that's kind of the crux of it. But the order that you put these things in makes a huge, huge difference. Most of us, the way we live our life, most people, the way they live their life, is we wait until we feel like something before we actually take action. You know, on that, like we wait to feel a certain way before we actually step out there and do the things that we need to do. This is the way that unsuccessful people operate, okay? Here's how it looks for them. You go out there and you wait until you feel a certain way to make a decision to then act, okay? This is how most people live their life. We go through there and we wait till we have a certain feeling, all right? And put this on the back of this. We wait till we have a certain feeling, like I feel like doing the right thing. I feel like doing phone time. Once you feel like doing it, then you make the decision, I will now do phone time. And then you take the action of completing phone time. Y'all follow me on that? Here's the deal. It's what unsuccessful people do with everything. We wait till we feel like studying before we make the decision to study, and we then study. Y'all follow me on that? We wait till we feel like working out before we make the decision to work out, and then we take the action of working out. Okay, this is what unsuccessful people do. Guys, high achievers, though, this is not the level they're operating at. They're at a whole different gear. For high achievers, they always start with a decision. They make a decision for what they're going to do. They then take action And it's not that your feelings don't matter, but you trust your feelings to catch up with the actions that you're taking. There's never a time I feel necessarily like going and working out. But last night, I made the decision that I wanted to work out. You with me on that? Like I made the decision. It came from the decision, came from a place inside me. And so once I made that decision, I worked out. I went to just box for about 45 minutes. Okay, I just hit the gym and I box. That's kind of my thing. And then once I had made the decision and I did the activity, how did I feel about myself afterwards? I felt great. You with me on that? I felt powerful. The blood was running. The adrenaline was there. I felt fantastic. Okay. That's how it works. But guys, if you wait till you feel like doing the right things to do the right things, you will live a life of not accomplishing things in the level you could. Guys, I don't always feel like being patient in traffic. Right? You know what I'm saying? Like anyone ever get that way, you get frustrated with cars around you, okay? Now I'm not like road rage ramming someone off the side of the road, but I'm still not necessarily the best version of myself. I don't always feel like being a good human being. I make a decision to. Guys, I don't always feel like being kind to other people. Sometimes I'm just in a bad mood. I make a decision, this is the way I want to live my life. I take place in the activity of being a kind person. I'm not saying I always am, I'm not. And then I just trust my feelings will always catch up. You with me on that? Because the right thing to do isn't always what you're gonna feel like doing, because the right thing to do is not usually the easy thing to do. Because the way you feel, what you feel like doing 9 times out of 10 is what's easy. Like I've needed to clean my garage for solidly 8 months now. I keep waiting until that day I feel like cleaning my garage. Hadn't happened yet. All right, on my priority list, the decision train hasn't reached clean garage. So the problem is I just deal with the consequences of having this garage that's cluttered. Every morning when I leave, what is my last experience I have when I leave my house? Clutter and disarray and frustration that I haven't done this thing. So even though to me it's not a big deal, every day I leave my house, I experience that. Every day when I pull in, I just got home, busy day at work, I want to relax, I want to be with my family. What's the first thing facing me? This project I haven't gotten completed yet. And so it almost puts me in just a wrong foot from the second I get home. But it's just because I've waited until I felt like doing it. Can't be that way. You decide to do it. You take action in line with that decision, and then you trust your feelings to follow through. So for today, when we're doing our phone time, here's what you're going to do. You're going to decide how you're going to operate. I'm going to call 15 people in this first round. You call 15 people, and then afterwards, you'll feel like a boss. You'll feel like a boss. But don't leave yourself in that position where you have to wait till you feel like doing it, because it'll always work against you. If you just take it seriously, treat it like a job, and do the right things, you'll be off to the races. You like that? All right.
Okay. So here's what we're going to do. Because our 40-minute time limit is up, I'm going to close this Zoom meeting, and then I'm going to reopen it. So you might be able to get in with the same like access code. I'm just going to like end the meeting and then restart it, okay? So I'm going to do that right now. Give me a thumbs up if you heard me, please. Brandon? Maybe? Is Brandon there? Okay, cool. So be right back. Hold on. Timeout. What do I have to do again?